Your friends are scrolling through short content, but you, my friend, you're here to learn. Welcome to TRS Clips. How did he die and what happened?
No, he died a very broken man in the Deccan in 1707. And where are we now? We are in 1680. Now we are in 1680. Aurangzeb died in 1707.
27 years later.
27 years of thrilling war.
And he was older than Shirvai.
He was older than Shiva.
So he actually lived to be an old man.
I think up to 90 he lived.
Really?
To 90, yes. He lived up to 90.
And he was still the emperor till 90.
Yeah, the so-called emperor, because the entire Mughal system had broken down. He spent about that many years. He came to the Deccan in 81, 82. But before that, he was in Rajasthan, which is also very interesting. That story you have to say, I have to tell you that story. How he tried to hoodwink his own son Akbar. But when he comes to South, 27 years he remains there with the only dream of taking over Shivraj Swaraj, and he fails. He takes over Bijapur, he takes over Qutub Shahi and Adil Shahi, but he fails to take over the Maratha.
Because the system was that strong.
No, that system wasn't that strong because there was a fire of vengeance in the hearts of the Marathas after the tragic and brutal death of Shambhuraje.
He was tortured.
Yeah, so that will come, the next.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to highlight about his death? Badshah Aurangzeb's death? I always had this question ever since I was growing up, and from the first time I heard of this story. What exactly happened to the successors?
See, Aurangzeb was very disheartened. He could never take over the Maratha kingdom. See, you can take over the forts, and then he was used to lose them ever so quickly. Because Rani Tarabai, the daughter-in-law of Shivrai, was an excellent warrior. She saw to it that she jumped from fort to fort and controlled the cavalry and Maratha cavalry and infantry. That was after her husband's death, Ram Raja. She is the one who really made the Mughal run for their money. And he died in the camp in Ahmednagar, where I was born, in the camp, Mughal camp, a frustrated old man whom people were making fun of from behind. Because see, all his Mansabdar and his warriors were also kept away from home 27 years. Can you imagine 27 years away from your home and you cannot see any winning this thing, and this senile old man is trying to, push them to the war. So he had a very pathetic death. I would like to end this episode with one of Aurangzeb's poems.
Sure.
Huh? Now we are talking about his death. Life is a twinkle, a breath. Now it was life, now it is death.
He wrote this himself? That's how he
In
looks at his
Persian.
own life?
Yes.
A twinkle?
A twinkle. And he wrote, it was only what he did all his life, will Allah forgive him? He doesn't know.
He had guilt.
Yes, full of guilt when he died. Full of guilt. And all his sons turned. They started war of succession when he was on his deathbed.
Who won it?
Shah Alam, Muazzam.
Muazzam. Who was Sambhaji Raje's friend, technically.
So what? Not friend, you won't call it. But they kind of, because they must have met at Aurangabad, no? And he must have treated Shambhuraje with respect. Otherwise, Shambhuraje went there 2-3 times. What
was his story as an emperor, Muazzam's? Because he inherited a very attacked kingdom.
He was a very weak emperor, Later on, after Aurangzeb, there was no strong emperor. Later on. The last Mughals, sort of.
Like the Maratha Empire started growing after that point.
Yes.
And they started taking back parts of the territory.
Sort of. Not now. It took another 30-40 years for, then the Peshwas came in the picture. So all that is another story.
Yeah. What about the Sikh Empire this time?
Sikh Empire this is what I know about this period.
Sure.
What happened later, I'm not so sure. But Chhatrasal Bundela, who had Bundelkhand, he had come to meet Shirvai and he wanted to fight against Aurangzeb and he wanted to join Shirvai. So Shirvai said, you fight from your land. And Bundelkhand little kingdom was again reinstated by this Chhatrasal Bundela with the guidance of Shirvai. So people were rising against this Islamic torture that time.
So these are playlists made especially for you. We've tailor-made learning experiences for you on TRS Clips.